Okay, if you have a sore Achilles tendon, it's sore when you walk or run, it hurts when you squeeze it here, then you probably have Achilles tendon pain. Now, an important part of what you do for that is some rehabilitation, some mobilization of the foot and ankle, and some strengthening of the calf muscle. I'll show you those in a second, but let me quickly show you my favorite form of natural pain relief for all sore tendons, but it works particularly well for the Achilles tendon. And that is this guy, the 10 vibration massage tools. So this is the deep model, and it'd be my top pick for the Achilles tendon. Basically, we switch it on, turn it up to level 2 or 3, unless you're super tender, in which case you can stick down at level 1. And then with that switched on to constant vibration, I'm basically going to check what's more sensitive, the inside side of the tendon, directly over the back of the tendon, or up the outside of the tendon out of shot there. Mine's is most painful just there. So what I like to do is basically get the tend on that spot, and then I'm going to look for the depth that gives me the most feedback. It isn't always the case that the more you shove it in, the more relief you're going to find. So you want to find that depth that makes you most aware of the fact that you're tender over a particular spot. And then what I'm going to do is keep that spot stimulated, and I'm going to keep that spot stimulated, and then I'm going to gently draw the foot up, bringing the big toe up at the same time to add a little local stretch to the bottom part of the Achilles tendon. Hold that for a few seconds and then let it go right down into this position there. And then I can do the opposite, lifting the foot up, contracting the muscle, putting everything into a really short position. And essentially, I want to work through that very short to very long scenario a few times with a bit of local vibration right next to where I hurt. And then what we want to think is that it's unlikely this will be the end of it. I also want to check further up the tendon, as anywhere before we get to the bump of the calf muscle. This is still Achilles tendon. And if you're tender on the inside further down, you're quite likely to also be tender on the inside further up. So make sure you check that full length of the tendon. As we come up, the end of the tool is less useful, and the side of the tool really starts to come into its own. So up here where the tendon is broader and flatter, often holding it sideways will produce a nicer sensation as we go through there. And again, add motion of the foot up into stretch position, out into short contracted position. So I want to check the tendon through its whole length, not just where it hurts. And then I can also come up and do a little bit of deeper work into the belly of the calf muscle itself. So again, foot in a nice relaxed position. And then I'm just exploring around right up behind the knee in the belly of the gastroc muscles to look for any soreness in there. Where I find soreness, I can basically either repeatedly pass over the sore spot, or I can stick to the sore spot, just wait patiently, or add movement from the ankle and the foot at the same time. So some nice ways to spend a few minutes just trying to reduce the tension and soreness that you've got going on through that area. After you've done that kind of work, it might be so that you can go out and do something nice like have a run or a walk, but we also want to look at some exercises that can help rehabilitate the area and make us more likely to recover longer term. So the first thing we want to do is make sure our ankles got enough dorsiflexion, this knee over toe movement. So I'm sticking the foot to the floor, I'm in this kneeling position, and then I'm just looking to make sure I can get my knee to go significantly further forward than my toes. So we should have a positive angle of somewhere between sort of 5 and 10 centimeters. Too little dorsiflexion and you're more likely to get Achilles tendon pain. But if you're really mobile through this movement, don't stretch it. You won't help the situation. So basically, if you've got something vertical there, if you can get at least 5 centimeters out the front, you're doing okay. If you're hitting 10, then you're definitely mobile enough. Too much or too little, more risk of Achilles tendon pain. So I want to work it that way, and then I want to acknowledge that the basic function of the Achilles tendon is to work as a massive spring. It is the second spring in the body. The first one is the arch. So if this one's getting jacked up and sore, there's a good chance this one isn't working hard enough. So I'm going to stick the whole of my sole to the floor, and then I'm going to work on being able to pull the knee right inwards to feel the arch become really low, and then press the knee right to the outside to make the arch go really high. And as I do that, I want to feel that all of the sole of the foot stays on the floor. So as I move this way, the big toe must stay down. As I move this way, the little toe must stay down. I want to feel the arch rise and fall. And then we've also, don't forget, got that dorsiflexion work as well. So does your arch go up and down enough? Does your ankle bend enough? They're two really important mobility factors that a lot of people aren't addressing around their Achilles tendon pain. What most people do know is that you should be working on heel raises for strength, and they are a really good idea, but we want some variety within this. So just a straight vertical raise like so, making sure I get the heel right up on every repetition. I want to do this on a bent leg, and then again on a straight leg, and then again on a bent leg. So unlock the knee 20 or 30 degrees, fix it at that angle, and then press up again. This is harder from a coordination point of view. Two common mistakes are Elvis leg, where the heel's going up and down, but the head isn't. And then other mistake is the opposite, which is essentially to jump into it. So I go like this, and then quads come to the rescue with knee extension at the end. We don't want either of those. We just want fixed knee, going up and down nice and slowly. As soon as you got the shakes, you know you're getting into a bit of fatigue. That's what we've turned up for, so please don't avoid it. So heel raises are great. They'll add strength to the calf muscle, which is an important part of helping the Achilles tendon to settle down. But the Achilles tendon itself, well, that's a spring, and that will work best with some hopping drills. So the first thing we want to be able to do is just hop nice and accurately, staying on the same spot, feeling that the calf is doing most of the work. So we don't want lots of knee bend and a slow jump like this. We want a nice stiff leg to pogo off and get on and off the ground as quickly as possible. From there, we can start to develop lateral hop, forward and backwards hop, and progressively bigger rotational hops. And if that doesn't fix your Achilles tendon, nothing will.